Righty. Welcome to the On Fire Empire team call. It is March 20th. How are we already halfway through March, you guys? This year is flying by so fast already. I cannot even believe it. So, our last team call, we talked about inviting. And we talked about the different methods of inviting, how you can, Haley, I'm not sure if background noise is coming through on your end. Okay. Whether, sorry, I got thrown off. We talked about, inviting, whether you are directly inviting somebody to join you, like with coaching or your challenge group, or how to invite, like, subtly through social media. And this week we are going to be talking specifically on how to invite to the coaching opportunity. And that means not just inviting people for the discount, but inviting people to join you and link arms and actually be part of your team as a business builder. So, inviting to your team is absolutely vital to the growth of your business because you are one person. On your own, you can only impact the number of lives that you can physically connect with in a day, like by yourself. But as a team, we have the ability to impact, honestly, millions of lives. Last month, I changed 14 lives by myself as an individual. As a team, we changed 221 lives. That gives me goosebumps because the magnitude of that is such a huge, like, just wrapping your mind around that, like, what you can do as one person versus what you can do as a team are so incredibly different. And I want you to think of that in terms of the lives that we can impact and the income that you can make, because we joined this business mainly for two reasons: to make an impact and to make an income. It is okay to say that you are part of this business to make an income. It's not icky. It doesn't make you salesy. It makes this your business. It makes you a CEO and a business owner. And taking ownership of that is, really important. And a big part of making an income as a coach is by building your team. I've shared some of my income progression within the team page and even kind of shown you how my paychecks break down, because we get paid different amounts for different things. We get paid, 25% for commission when we sell any products. That's me. That's the work that I physically do. The majority of my paycheck comes from the productivity of my team. So without my team, I would be missing like literally 90% of my paycheck every week. So that is why it is so important to wrap your mind around part of being a coach is building your team, because it increases your income and it increases the impact that we're able to make in the world. So if the first order of business, if you are not an Emerald coach already, your first order of business is to go Emerald. So that means grabbing husband and mom, or dad and best friend, or brother and sister, or cousin and neighbor, or whoever it is, and signing them up and going Emerald, because this is going to make you officially open for business. Set a date for yourself and make that date happen. Emerald is a decision. It is not anything that is super complicated. It is two people, and preferably two people who you love and who trust you and are just ready to take this leap with you. We have incredible training videos on how to talk to your friends and family to take that first step to go Emerald. So if you are needing some of those resources, just comment in the chat or send me a message and I'll make sure to get you those appropriate tools. Next, what you're going to do is you are going to go to your list of 100. If you have not created a list of 100, if you're brand new and you don't have one of those yet, that's great. This is your first place to start. You're going to sit down with a pen and paper and you are going to go through your friends list on like social media or even just off the top of your head, and you're going to start writing down names. You're going to start writing down names of who you're friends with on Facebook. You're going to write down who you're friends with on Instagram. You're going to write down who the moms are that you see at preschool and at swimming lessons and the people that you volunteer with at church. And you're just going to write down pretty much everyone that you can think of on your list. Now, in creating your dream team list, I want you guys to go back through your list of 100. And I'm going to give you a few categories of people that you need to take special note of, because these are people that could very likely turn into incredible coaches for your team. So, number 1, anybody who has experience with a Beachbody program. Maybe they have done a program in the past and shared a little bit about it on their social media or whatever, or you know that they're familiar somewhat with Beachbody. Highlight them in yellow, okay? Anybody who is someone who enjoys fitness, but not necessarily Beachbody. So these are going to be your runners or your gym enthusiasts or your people who love going to CrossFit. Highlight them in, let's say, green. Okay, they're going to be a different color. These are your fitness enthusiasts. Next, or these are people who are into fitness, but not necessarily Beachbody. The next category are your fitness enthusiasts. So make these ones like pink highlighter, okay? These are going to be your personal trainers, your group fitness instructors, your nutritionists, people who are already building a career centered around health and fitness. You know that it's important to them. We have some incredible uplines, and we have some people on our team who are personal trainers. And Beachbody is an incredible complement to the work that they're already doing, but they get to help people on a completely different level. Like I said before, like with being a personal trainer, you are only able to help the number of people that you are physically able to see in a day at your house, that you are physically able to like be in front of and train. As a coach, you guys all know we are able to touch people all across the United States and Canada and now into the United Kingdom. They don't have to be located like geographically close to you. Our spread as a coach is so much wider. Your 4th category is going to be people who have a contagious, fun personality. These are going to be people who, maybe these were like the cheerleaders from high school, or Bonnie was on my list as a person with a contagious, fun personality. Just throwing that out there in case y'all hadn't picked up on that already. She was on that list. These are people who you know have a big network of friends, and they're just fun, infectious people that you enjoy being around. Maybe you're really drawn to their social media because everything they share is like fun and positive. The people that you just enjoy being around, their energy, or maybe you want to be their best friend in person. Like, this is your opportunity. And the last category are people who have a background of helping other people. These are going to be your teachers. Raise your hand on this call if you're a teacher. These are going to be your nurses or your doctors or your vets or your dentists, people who already, have a career in helping people. Social workers, Haley's a physical therapist. Jessica was a vet. I was a nurse. We all kind of fall into these different categories. So you're going to go through your list of 100 and you're going to highlight these people in different colors that could fall into your dream team list, okay? And if there's someone on your list that you're just like, I really just wish this person was like my best friend in real life because they're so cool, like put them on your dream team list, okay? Next, you need to have an idea when you are talking with them about identifying their need for coaching, because pretty much everybody has a need. Even if you don't think that they do, I guarantee you there is some form of a need, whether it is accountability for their fitness, because coaching, as we know, is the ultimate accountability, because you show up. When you have people that you're in charge of, you show up and you are guaranteed to get better results. Maybe it's the need for the community. Maybe they need to be surrounded by positive people and they just want to be part of something bigger than themselves. That was a big part of my need as a stay-at-home mom. You know, I needed that community, that, you know, mom girl tribe that I was so desperately missing, being stuck at home with little people who barely spoke English at the time. Maybe their need is financial. We really don't know, you know, people don't necessarily put out on social media if they have a financial need, but the gift that this opportunity has given to my family financially, we weren't hurting financially to begin with, but not having, you know, my full-time RN income anymore definitely had us putting more money on the credit cards. I didn't go blab about it on Facebook so that people would be like, hey girl, come check out this coaching opportunity. But the financial need was there. And the need and the vision for myself grew once I got invited into the opportunity, and I could see that Haley was replacing her physical therapy income with coaching. I mean, that was a big light bulb for me. So, you know, maybe they just need extra income for date night. Maybe they want to be able to travel. Maybe they're unhappy in their current job and they just need something different. Maybe they need to pay off debt. I had student loans that I needed to pay off. Thank you, coaching. Those are paid off in full. Maybe they want financial freedom. I mean, there is just a major scale. You know, it can go from a couple $100s a month for date night all the way to complete financial freedom. You don't know. It is not your place to judge. It is your job to plant the seed and offer it to them in the first place. Okay. Then, you know, luckily we are going to be teaching you, like Jessica and Lindsay are going to be sharing with all of you how they are implementing these steps to recruit to their teams. And the main thing that we want you guys to keep in the back of your mind is, let me double check my calendar so I have the date right for you guys, but Monday, the 26th, well, sometime in this week of the 26th. Are we doing a 5-day one this time, Haley? Yes? Okay, so starting Monday, we are starting a team-wide 5-day sneak peek. It's going to be a little bit different format than the last one. The last one was only 2 days. This next one is going to be a 5-day group that's going to run the course of the whole week. So when you guys get off this call, Jessica and I are going to have some activities for you to do as far as identifying, you know, your dream team members and who you're going to start asking to join the sneak peek, because we want you guys to get your people into the sneak peek. So that's going to start on Monday. So I am, you know, one thing, and I know that the girls are going to touch on this. One thing that really stood out to me when Emily Favre was on our call a couple weeks ago was her statement when she said, you attract what you talk about. And it took me a long time to realize that I wasn't talking about the coaching opportunity the way that I was talking about challenge groups. And I've had some of my girls come to me and they're like, this is great. I can get challengers, I can get discount coaches, but how do I get business builders? How do I get the people under me that are wanting to build? And the first question that I have to ask is, are you talking about the coaching opportunity? Are you talking about it? Because you are going to attract, you know, challengers if all you talk about is a challenge group. You're going to attract discount coaches if you are offering them the discount. You're going to attract business builders if you lead with the business in those conversations. So I am going to kick it over to Lindsay, and she is going to share some insights that she has learned recently. So are you ready, girl?
Yes, I'm ready. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. Hello. So when I was told that I was talking on the phone, I had a freak out moment. And I was like, I asked Renee, I was like, what am I going to talk about? And what am I supposed to tell everybody? So And then she had reminded me, because her and I talk like every other day. She's probably sick of hearing my voice by now, but she reminded me that I had just told her the other day that I had this like come to Jesus moment, like that I was actually sharing about the coaching opportunity. And weird, I added 2 coaches to my team in the last 2 weeks. Like, I feel like I just hadn't like thought about it. And so when I really sat down and was writing some notes down and stuff, like I said, I had this come to Jesus moment that I was, getting challengers and adding customers to my team, but that was all, like, which was great. And I was, from the beginning, I've always been like, I've really wanted to just inspire other people and just, share with them in this amazing program that's transformed my life. But now it's like coaching has transformed my life. Like, I was a challenger and that transformed my life, but now this coaching thing like has transformed my life. And it's so weird. And I feel like I'm like on a soapbox right now, like just shouting from the rooftops, but like this is life changing, you guys. And why was I not sharing about it? Like, who gives a rat's butt if someone's going to judge me? They can delete me if they want, and they can say something mean behind my back. I don't really care, because for that one negative comment, there was probably 20 positive ones. So I think just realizing that this is an amazing opportunity. And to be honest, the financial side is a whole different aspect to me. But when I actually became a coach and I started adding coaches and adding customers and all of that, and I was a coach, it made my transformation completely different than when I was just a challenger, because now I had girls that I was, hey girl, how's your container system going? Well, if I wasn't using the container system, that's like calling the kettle black. I couldn't be drinking beer and eating pizza every night. And then, hey, why are it was just the ultimate form of accountability. And when I really started diving in and really being accountable to myself, weird, I had a transformation and I was losing weight and I was losing inches. And yeah, so that was just a big aha moment for me. I think, sorry, this is weird. I think also I started sharing about this coaching opportunity, and I had a lot of girls message me because they wanted our community. They wanted these girls trips. They wanted our wine night that we went on a couple months ago. They wanted to be able to hang out with girls because they didn't have positive relationships in their lives. They needed friends, you guys. And I don't want to sound corny or awkward, but like, there are so many women out there who are alone and struggling, and it is so sad. And they just want love, and they just want somebody to love them for who they are. Like, who cares if they're 300 pounds overweight? It doesn't matter. They just want someone to accept them and help them on their own journey. Instead of having this overnight serum of you're going to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks and then see ya, I don't even know what your name is. So I think just like having that community for women to come to that's positive and loving and affirming. Sorry, I'm supposed to keep this super quick. I think always just like being really vulnerable and transparent. I work full time and have a full time job, and my husband and I went on a strict budget in January because we were trying to get some bills paid off. And we said, no eating out, no date nights, nothing. And it was kind of fun because we've got to go on a date night since January once every month. We've got to go January, we've got to go February, and we've already gotten to go in March because of this extra income. And we wrote it down in our budget, but like it came out of like the Beachbody budget because it was an extra income that we didn't have to worry about. And we had money to pay for the babysitter, and then we didn't have to feel guilty about spending $50 because it was, out of that income. And I remember halfway through February, I had realized that I had made $675. And that's literally how much my daycare bill is $674. And I was like, holy shit, it's halfway through the month and my daycare's paid for. Like, what? Like, I just, it was incredible. And so it made me just like, yes, financials are huge, but like I told you, like more than anything, I just wanted to inspire other people. And I started sharing that. And I started sharing about the coach sneak peek that we had a couple weeks ago. And I had some girls that were like, well, tell me what this coach thing is, because I think that it's out. Like I said, I think some people think that it's like, you have to have all this product on hand and you have to sell it, or, it's like all this money up front. And it's not that way at all. It's just, you're already doing, your workouts, you're already drinking your shakes, you're already loving what you're doing. Why not share it? Like, cool, and obviously there's a little bit more to it than that, but really there's not. And if this is what you're passionate about, why aren't you sharing it? So I started sharing it through posts. I started sharing it through like my IG stories. Honestly, my IG stories have been like crazy. And I always am talking about our tribe, and like people will comment like, oh my gosh, like what's that? And I'll write back. And everything I speak about, you guys, is just speaking from my heart, because my life has changed. My life is transformed because of Beachbody, and now because of coaching. And I want everybody in the world to know it, because it could change their life too. So honestly, get over whatever you think is going to punch you or trip you or whatever, because if they're going to judge you, you don't want them anyways. But you guys, seriously, start sharing, because that's how you're going to build your team. And 2 months ago, I had like really nobody under me. Like I had nobody under me. I just had a bunch of challengers, and that was awesome. And I started putting the opportunity out there, and I had girls that were like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. And like Logan said, your builders are how you're going to, essentially build your business too. So I think when you're passionate about something, you just speak from the heart, and you're vulnerable. And if people don't like it, then screw off, because I don't want you as my friend anyways. So that's all.
I love that, Lindsay. Thank you so much. And like, how incredible is it for you now to have your girls building underneath you and seeing that light switch like turn on for them? Like I feel like even though like my life has been like so like completely changed thanks to coaching and the opportunity, financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, like relationships, every possible way. But then when I get to look at all of my girls and all of my girls' girls and see how different all of their lives are, it's like, oh my gosh, all this hard work is like so worth it, because look at how happy they all are, like,
yeah,
so priceless.
It's incredible.
Okay, we are going to kick it over to Jessica now, and she is going to share how she has like majorly ramped up her recruiting game. What did you tell me, Jessica? You've recruited more coaches in the last couple weeks than like almost all of last year. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure I've already surpassed last year. Yeah.
Incredible. Okay. All you, girl.
Kind of embarrassing, but Lindsay, great job. I'm glad you ended up speaking, because I mean, you really touched on some really awesome points.
Thanks.
So I want to share a little bit of my backstory, and what I'm kind of concentrating on first and foremost is belief and the power of your mindset, and how it's honestly like critical with everything, but like even more so when you're looking at the opportunity and how you're able to present it to people. So I will be celebrating my 3-year anniversary at the beginning of April, and I was so on fire with Beachbody because it literally saved my life that I like took off running and didn't even realize I was running. Okay. And so it was so infectious that people just wanted to be a part of it. They didn't even know what they were really getting into. They just wanted to join me. And so, and I know Haley can relate to a lot of this, because we both grew our businesses pretty quickly in the beginning. And I really wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. It was just so natural, because I wanted to share everything about what was going on in my life, because I was in such a dark place before Beachbody entered. And I switched as a coach a month into doing 21 Day Fix, just so you guys know that. And I had people running with me. I remember having coaches that were hitting Success Club, and we didn't even know what Success Club was, honestly, at that point. I just knew I was supposed to be hitting it, and they knew they were supposed to be hitting it. And we were just bringing all these people on for the ride and having a blast. And honestly, we didn't even realize the impact we were having. And then something shifted And if you're a new coach, I'm going to give you some upsetting news. Not everybody that joins you is going to stay with you. And you need to prepare yourself for that, because it kind of crushed me when people started like realizing that this maybe wasn't for them, or for whatever reasons they did not stick around. And so looking back on my journey, I think a big part of where kind of things started falling apart for me, and don't get me wrong, my business has been great, but it's been mediocre in the grand scheme of things. It's not what I want it to be. And that's kind of why I made a switch recently. But I started realizing that I was letting self-doubt creep in, and you start having all these thoughts that you're not meant to be a leader. Who are you to run this team and ask people to join you when you don't even know what you're doing? You just get those thoughts in your head, and the more you entertain them and kind of don't recognize them up front and automatically turn them around and dig into personal development, or grab your mentor. You've always, in addition to your own coach, you should have people on the same level as you in your journey with similar goals. You should have some kind of partner with you that you could just express these things, because they're normal. You're gonna have so many ups and downs with coaching. And I just found that this whole past year, 2017, I finally got to a point where I truly didn't believe that I could help anybody recreate what I have done. And it's not like I'm special. I mean, this business undoubtedly has changed my life. I'm home with my girls because of it. I haven't practiced veterinary medicine in almost a year and a half now, and I don't have to, but I was having to do all of the work to stay at that point. And even before going to new leadership, because that was a big, catalyst to, I recognized that I was, Logan kind of touched on this, but you get this like icky picture of finances. And I think because my goal was so big and I knew I wanted to leave my job, I was pretty much just saying, well, nobody else wants that. Nobody's going to do the work anyway. And so I'm just not going to really try anymore. And so I was just kind of grabbing challengers, and we, do our challenge groups, and everybody was having fun, but nobody was joining me. And at the end of December, I had 2 active coaches. I had a lot of other people that were discount, but only 2 that were doing anything. And honestly, I don't even know how Katie is still doing anything, because she's pregnant with twins and about to pop already, and she's still rocking it. But I recognized that I was doing a disservice, not only to all of these people that I wasn't sharing with, but because, again, I can only do so much. And I'm pretty good at knowing my limit. There's only so many people I could help and give them good quality service in a month. And so the beginning of the year, my vision, which I had lost sight of too, once I came home, I didn't know what I was working for anymore. My vision was to be able to infiltrate as many houses as possible. And I mean, totally like flip them upside down in the best way possible. From their marriage, their relationship with their kids, their financial freedom, their faith, everything. And once I started looking at things that way, I started sharing about it again. And I remembered this opportunity has changed every single one of those areas. And so that's my first assignment or exercise I want to touch on. And some of you may have heard of doing this, but if somebody asks you, what has coaching done for you, and you can't start spitting things out, then you absolutely need to do this. I mean, everybody should do it anyway, but I want you to make 2 columns on your paper and write before coaching and then after coaching, and just list everything you could think of that describes you in both of those categories, and keep that in front of your computer or on your phone, in your notes, wherever you need to keep it. But you should be able to have so much more than just, a paycheck or, your fitness transformation. You should have all of these different bullet points that you could be using to share on your social media. That's not like in your face, sign up and be a coach with me. And when I look back at that, it's like, why would I not share this with everybody? I don't care who you are. And so that's what I started doing. And I think, and hopefully I don't offend anybody, but this is something that really helps me. I'm very faith-driven. I am a firm believer in God placing people on my heart. And so if somebody's on my mind or they make it on my list or whatever, I feel like I'm being disobedient if I don't follow through and share something from this opportunity with them. And that has helped me tremendously with overcoming fear, because I feel like it's not even me. And like Logan kind of said, you're planting a seed, and it may take, what's the 7, 8 times? I have people that I have been talking to since May of my first coaching, like almost 3 years, that are hopefully about to sign up sometime this month. I've been talking to these people and staying engaged in their life because they have always been on my dream team. And I honestly feel like there is a reason we were connected, and that it has to do with coaching and what they can do to serve others through this. So I'll get my bearings. You got to keep that front and center. And again, it was already kind of touched on, but be aware of what you are putting out there. And I just want to give an example. Okay, you could have a picture, say a Super Saturday, and take like a bunch of different pictures and different outfits and scatter them around. But you could do like one post specifically talking about the community and the fun, like tailoring towards that connection. And, just I did one the other day, and it was like, I honestly thought for the longest time that high school was the best days of my life. And that was it. That's what you hear. That's when you have these great relationships and you have all these fun things to go to, and then you become an adult and life sucks. Like, that's always what I thought. Not like I didn't want to be a mom, but you know what I mean? Like the fun factor just goes meh. And I shared about how, like, man, was I wrong after going to, leadership and meeting these incredible ladies from all over the place and just having relationships that I never would have imagined. But you could take the same thing and really hone in on the power of being surrounded by others that dream and set goals and are not okay with settling for, it is what it is, and going to a job that, leaves them kind of a zombie mode. You need to make sure that you're attracting people that want to show up. And not like I want you to like go out and make it seem like it's nothing but work and it's serious and this and that, because what we get to do is a blessing and it's fun. But don't make it seem like it's a piece of cake either. That was a big thing for me. I like tiptoed around the fact that I actually worked my butt off to get to where I was. And it's like, no wonder I was getting people that didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to show up for the fun. So just be aware of that. And if you are sharing, maybe do like a little audit, like where you're only sharing the fun stuff. Make sure you're always doing a positive twist on it, though. Again, you don't want it to seem like you're, oh man, I gotta go and talk to people again. Like, don't do that. But for me specifically, what I started doing, one, I faced the fact that I wasn't inviting enough consistently. And that's like for everything for me. I'm very sporadic. I'm very consistent with a lot of things, but I will do like a ton of invites in batches. And coaching kind of was like, last year I probably would do like a bunch on this month, and then I wouldn't invite anybody for like 2 months. No wonder I wasn't getting anybody to join me. But kind of do an inventory of your invites and be realistic. If you have goals to go diamond by a certain date and you're inviting 3 people a week, you may not hit it in your time frame, unless you're like really, really good at honing in on their need and, getting them to get on board with you. So, be aware of those things. If you are inviting this many and you're getting maybe one to say yes, then that gives you a gauge on how many people you need to be talking to. The other huge thing for me, and I kind of touched on this, I think, in previous calls, but I just started doing Instagram stories, I want to say the week before NLC, and I was horrible at them. And I'm still really not that great. And the leaders were always going back and forth on like how many views we have, and they're like, talking about these high numbers, and I'm like, oh, I get like 100 on average. But I'm not stressing about it, because when we did our last sneak peek, I advertised that I was going to be doing a day in the life of a coach for the Monday and Tuesday, and I purposely shared more just about what I do, and sprinkled in things with my girls because people love to see them, of course. But what I did with that information is I made lists from all the people that were watching them, and thanks to Haley, I messaged them all a simple hi, whatever their name was. I saw you've been watching my stories over the last couple of days. Have you considered checking out my What is Coaching group on Facebook? And you guys, at least half of them responded to me. And people that I have not been talking to at all are people that I have like desperately tried to form on Facebook forever, and it's been like torture because they either don't answer me or whatever reasons. And I ended up with 23 or 24 in the sneak peek, and I'm trying to remember how many actually that signed up. But anyway, I have, I'd say, a good 5 that are hoping to enroll soon, that are still in the process of like, going through the information. But then I also got like a good 5 that like, well, coaching may not be my thing, but I think I actually want to work with you as a challenger. So you're always going to have those people that like answer you and get in the group, and then they like never answer you. So just keep them on your list, keep interacting on their profiles, love on them, check in on them for things that have nothing to do with coaching. Stay present, because I promise you they're still watching. And so the next time we do a sneak peek, and when you're breadcrumbing, they're going to still see all that, and they're going to end up coming around. But that right there, I mean, was huge. And I mean, I didn't do anything special, and I'd be more than happy to kind of share like some examples of, like conversation flows. But I mean, I'm still getting people that are like, we're discussing the opportunity from over a month ago because of that. Trying to think specifically besides like that, and just I am posting a couple times a week about coaching in some shape or form, and again, like using that activity. One example that I did, I think 2 weekends ago, that is to like my target market, but I would have never done this before, was discussing how Sundays used to, like, if I wasn't home on Sundays and we were at our camp and we decided to go for an impromptu boat ride, it ended up on this beach at a casino, and this wonderful day. But the old me would have been so anxious because all I would have been thinking about was all of the crap I had to do at home and how I had to get ready for work. And I would have missed all of that. And it probably wouldn't even happen because I would have talked my husband out of it. And I got so many people like reach out to me that like are dealing with major anxiety, like all the time, and are like, I have no clue like what you're even talking about, but just the fact that there's a chance that you could help me Like, I'm excited. You know, so you just gotta really think about what is specific to you and what are those pain points that you may have forgotten about that coaching has helped you either manage or solve. And share them. And yeah, they may be scary. And if you are in a position where you do work and you have to be cautious, because I think that was something that tripped me up in the beginning, is I was working and I didn't want anybody to get any kind of clue that I wanted to stop working. And so I don't know if anybody falls in that, but just, Bonnie, just really try to hone in on the other things that may not be specific to like big financial goals, but breadcrumb the small ones. Like, I did not do that in the beginning. It was like I totally took finances off the table. I felt like I couldn't talk about it, but I wasn't sharing that we paid for our flood insurance, which was like $1,200, like that, not even thinking from my Beachbody account, like a couple of months in. Like, why wouldn't I share about that? So just, you know, if you're struggling with something like that, reach out to us. We can help you kind of maneuver it, but don't let it paralyze you from sharing that aspect of things like it did for me. I think that's all I have. I tend to go on and not take a breath.
Oh, you did amazing. You totally have me fired up. I'm ready to go send out a bunch of invites that I've been holding on to. Basically, to wrap us up, you know, I've had a couple of you guys ask me, when I'm signing people up, how do I decide whether to enroll them as a customer or as a coach? First of all, I do not make that decision for them. I present almost the same script to every person that I am signing up. And I had to, you know, what I said earlier that we got from Emily, you attract what you talk about. And, you know, one of my quotes that I'm sure you've heard Leslie quote me on is, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. And I found myself one day kind of analyzing, okay, I'm really good at attracting customers and challengers, and I'm getting discount coaches, but I do not get people that come into the business that join for the business opportunity. I get people into my challenge group and love it and feel transformed, and then they start to share, but I don't attract people into the business opportunity, to start with it right away. And so I kind of had to take a step back and kind of analyze, what am I doing to not attract people to that? Okay, well, first of all, I'm not even asking them to join me for the business opportunity. Number one, if I'm not asking, the answer is going to be no. So I had to tweak the wording that I was using when I would get to, and I've shared this in the team page, I can reshare it if you guys need me to, but basically when I, you know, work someone through the process of forming them and we figure out their challenge pack and you get to the end and you're getting their shake flavor in their email, I let them know, okay, here, I'm just going to read it. I say, all right, girl, so when you sign up, you have the option to enroll as either a customer or a coach. I give them the option. I don't just direct them one way or the other. The price is the same for either option, but a lot of perks come along with being a coach. Sharing my journey and bringing friends and family and new friends like you on this journey has allowed my family to pay off student loan debt, help with bills, fund spending money for Target, groceries, you name it. So the change that I made was I used to default to the discount. You can either, you can sign up as a customer or as a coach. If you're a coach, then blah, 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 you automatically get this 25% discount. So hello, they were becoming discount coaches and they weren't, joining immediately thinking they were going to work the business. So then I say, I'd love to ask my girls what an extra $200 to $500 a month could help them with. Like, get them thinking, like, gosh, like, what could an extra $500 a month like do for my family? For some people, that's life-changing money. Okay. Or you could even cover the cost of your own Shakeology to start. That was why I started. Okay, so working it down to covering the cost of their own shakes, letting them dream big. What could this opportunity do for my family? What could this income do for my family? Working it down to covering the cost of their own shakes. Then I bring up the discount and say enrolling as a coach does get you 25% off your future shakes and all your future purchases. So it saves you a lot of money, even if you never work the business side of things. There's a $16 monthly coach fee, but it still works out to your benefit and saves you almost $200 a year on your Shakeology alone. Oh, and you can always pause or cancel your shakes at any time if there's an issue with your budget. I know life happens and I'm totally understanding. You just let me know and we'll get it taken care of. No matter which option you choose, our number one goal is to get you in my challenge group and get you feeling amazing. Our focus is you and your journey and to really love yourself and just be my friend. So let me know which option you want to enroll with, what shake flavor you want. I'll send over your thing in an email, blah, blah, blah. So I will copy and paste this and put it into the team page so that you guys have got it, because it has created a shift in my business. I am getting more people instantly that even if they aren't enrolling to immediately start working the business right away, I've had more people who enroll as customers who come to me after their first round of 21 Day Fix and they're ready to sign up as a coach and they're ready to start sharing because they want to get the cost of their shakes covered. And that was very different to what my business looked like at this time last year. Okay. So just thinking about how you're wording it and what you're presenting first is so, so important. So this is a shift that I've made in my business, and it has definitely made a difference because I'm planting that seed of the potential business opportunity in their minds first before I default to the discount. Okay. So just keep in mind that coaching is an absolutely incredible gift that we have to give people. And I know that all of your lives are so much better because of it. Inviting is hard. It's scary. It's the scariest part of what we do. Inviting to coaching is really scary. It's scarier than inviting to challenge groups. Inviting your dream teamers are the scariest freaking thing that you can possibly do as a coach, because the thought of getting shot down is paralyzing. Okay? But the risk that you take to invite those people that God has placed on your heart to invite, like you just have that like burning like fire in your heart that this person is supposed to be doing this with you, those are the ones that pay off big time. Okay? I had my list of 100. I had dream teamers identified. I had one person in particular that I knew had experience with a Beachbody program in the past because I remember her posting about it on her Instagram. I remember her posting about drinking Shakeology. If it's like 2.5 years now, it was like so it was like 4.5 years ago. I was too scared to invite her. We knew each other in person-ish, but we didn't really have a relationship. Like we weren't friends. But like we knew each other to be, friendly at events and stuff. One day I made a post about the fear of failure and how I was afraid to start this journey because I was afraid that I was going to fail again, like I had failed everything in the past. And the next day, I had someone in my inbox, and it was that dream teamer, and my heart started pounding, and she wasn't like wanting to sign up or anything. She just was reaching out to let me know that the post spoke to her and basically thanking me for, being so vulnerable, like in the post, because she could relate to it. And I basically just like sat like this and rocked back and forth and wanted to basically like down a shot of tequila really fast and get my nerves out of the way. And I don't even remember exactly what I wrote, but I wrote her a message, and it was about being on how she was on my dream team and how I felt like she was supposed to coach with me. And then I like slammed my phone shut and I like walked away, and I wouldn't look at it again because I was too afraid to see her response. And she wrote me back. And she was flattered, but was surprised because she didn't necessarily see the potential that I saw in her. And she said she needed to talk to her husband. And I was like, oh, frick, this is the cop-out that everybody gives when they don't want to do it. I need to talk to my husband. We can't afford it. Like, you know. I was like, here we go. And she came back the next day and was like, okay, he said I could do it. So I went online and I got all signed up. So now I'm a coach. And I was like, no, that's not how you do it. You don't do it on your own. I'm supposed to send you the things. And so I'm getting in my office and like making sure she's set up okay. And she got a challenge pack and blah, blah, blah. Luckily, she did good. She figured it out. And it was Leslie Sullivan. And can any of you like not imagine her being on our team now? And like, if I had not taken that like uber scary moment where I wanted to puke, but I told her that she was on my dream team and invited her, and she said that I wish she was on the call so that she could speak to this, but because she still tells the story about how I saw the value in her before she saw it in herself, and how important it made her feel. And that's what you guys have to give people. Like, you get to reach out to those super important people and tell them, like, I think you are incredible. I see this amazing value in you, and I want you to do this with me. Like, how does that not make other people feel good? And thanks to her, like, she talked Renee into signing up because I've been working on her for like 6 months, and girlfriend was like, I don't like Shakeology. And so we got Renee, and now like half y'all on this call are here because of those two. And if I had just written Leslie back that day and been like, oh, thanks so much, you know, what would have happened? I don't know. I wouldn't have some of my best friends. That's what would have happened. So don't discount anybody. When you have that dream team burning feeling in your gut, you invite them. It's scary as heck, but it pays off in big freaking ways. Okay? Alrighty. So I want you guys to do the activity that Jessica talked about with the before coaching, the after coaching. I want you to revisit your list of 100 and identify your dream teamers based on, you know, those different categories that I listed off. And I want you to start inviting. Okay? Deal? Everybody feel good? Hey, we're getting off on time. This doesn't happen. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap it up? Good. All righty. Well, you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. I love seeing all your faces. Bye. Love you guys.